I've watched countless story summaries about Peace Walker, and while it intrigued me, I couldn't get into the actual game no matter how hard I tried. Maybe it was because I got used to playing a linear Metal Gear game, so a portable title was very unusual. Or maybe it's because I don't have nostalgia for it, like Metal Gear Solid 3. Which is weird, because I thought Metal Gear Solid V, Phantom Pain, was absolutely fun, and it's basically a big-budget Peace Walker game. Major spoilers, by the way. I won't really go in depth with everything, but just to be safe, if you're planning on playing the game soon, drop the video now and go experience the Phantom Pain yourself. After that helicopter accident with Snake in Ground Zeroes, he wakes up in the hospital to find out that he has been in a coma for 9 years. The enemies who have been searching for him during that time eventually caught up, but a stranger covered in bandages helps him out because he has been waiting for him to, gain consciousness.
Been watching over you for 9 years.
Yeah, okay. The 1-hour tutorial segment starts along with the typical weird Metal Gear stuff that we all love. Eventually, Snake gets out and is reunited with his buddy Ocelot, and the Phantom Pain begins. Well, not completely. I mean, they still need to rescue Miller. That portion of the game is sort of like a tutorial again, but about core gameplay mechanics on stealth, infiltrating enemy bases, and eventually an introduction to Mother Base. The best thing about V is definitely the gameplay. I've only played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3, but I bet this is the most complex entry to the series. Naturally, stealth is the way to go because this is a Metal Gear game after all. But then again, there's nothing stopping you from barging in guns blazing. The cool thing about the enemy AI is that they're clever, adapting to how you play the game. Prefer to snoop around at night? Good luck dealing with their night vision goggles. Kill too often? Here comes all that heavy armor. Which brings me to the equipment. There's so many stuff to use for every mission, it's crazy. I personally didn't invest in too much firearms. I just did an old-fashioned stealth-heavy playthrough. I know, boring, right? But I'm not a saint. I mean, if things get too frustrating, I'm blasting my RPG and calling fire support. You'll spend a lot of time extracting soldiers or gathering materials in between missions because they're essential to base management and basically everything you need in the game. As you expand your mother base, assigning soldiers you've recruited to different units such as support, intel, and so on is the key to gaining a strategic advantage for many missions. Depending on where you place your staff, you'll be able to craft more weapons and armor not only for yourself, but for your companions too. Oh yeah, the game gives you an option to have partners. D-Horse is a horse, enough said. But D-Dog, on the other hand, is an awesome sidekick. He can distract enemies, attack on command, and sniff out how many people there are in an area. I'm not even going to talk about Quiet because it hurts. What? Oh, maps. Right, maps. They were empty compared to most open world games, but I guess the devs wanted to do things differently. By devs, I mean Kojima, because his name is plastered all over the game. At the start and at the end of every mission, to be exact. He's literally in the game. But anyway, it would be out of place if Snake went around helping random NPCs like other popular titles. My playthrough spanned about 48 hours in total. I got lost in some side missions early on, but I decided to concentrate on completing main ones as much as I could. 48 hours is probably tiny for a lot of people who played this because V is an incredibly complex game, as I said. You can easily take over 100 hours if you decide to do the 50 main story missions and all the 157 side ops. Focus on Mother Base and your playtime will shoot up even more from staff and resource management to base facilities. There's also the FOB missions, which I really didn't care about. But from what I've read, they're basically a sort of multiplayer PvP thing that'll give you more benefits for additional resources and base building. Side missions had a lack of variety. I'm done with Prisoner Extraction 1. Oh boy, I can't wait to start Prisoner Extraction 2. The main missions didn't feel all too different. Find a document. Rescue that guy. Kill some imported people. Capture a bear. Oh, wait, that's a side op. But you know what? They were really fun because of the amount of customization and preparing for missions. My only issue is the narrative. I wasn't too fond of the game relying heavily on tapes. Sure, the previous titles had long codec calls, but they were ridiculously funny. and it allowed players to connect with Snake and other characters. In comparison, listening to a voice recording in V just made the experience bland to me, no matter how well acted the cassettes are. And don't get me started about the lack of story focus. It feels like crucial points of the plot are unequally spread throughout all 50 missions. I cry on the inside every time I think about the few glorious main stuff in V.
You're all diamonds.
Just to remember that the majority of them felt like filler. Of course, I also wanted to see more of the Fox engine in action because it looks so damn good. But I think my disappointment is mostly because I had huge expectations about V being an epic tale of Big Boss becoming a villain or whatever. I know, some of you guys probably heard it before or maybe even expected the same thing. So yeah, the fourth wall-breaking reveal that Venom Snake is supposed to be the player was underwhelming. I kinda saw the whole "you're not the real Big Boss" coming. I mean, there was foreshadowing like the AI pod noticing he isn't Snake. And, well, he barely talks. He doesn't even smoke real cigars. That's already a huge red flag for someone who's supposed to be the Big Boss. But I have to admit, I started to empathize with Venom Snake towards the end. Thing is, I lost some respect for Naked Snake because he decided to run off and leave a medic NPC to star in this game. Since this is the latest and final Kojima Productions Metal Gear Solid title, and it also happens to be a prequel to like 3 other games, it means Venom Snake was forgotten. And the medic is okay with all this? Assuming Big Boss's role with no questions asked? Oh right, we are the medic. The Metal Gear Solid games have never really had a super consistent story, but in V's case, I shouldn't be too hard on it. I'm sure that those of you who keep up with news about the game industry know about the mess between Konami and Kojima back in 2015. Because of that, I don't know what was intentionally in the game and what was the result of its troubled development. Once I recover from the empty feeling left by the story, I might pick it up again just to enjoy the gameplay. Maybe I'll be able to appreciate the fourth wall breaking stuff in time, but for now, I'm also left feeling the void caused by my expectations. It pains me to see the remains of what could have been the definitive Metal Gear Solid game. You feel it too, don't you? Let me know what you guys thought about Phantom Pain. Was it depressing, or did you think it was a masterpiece? Oh, and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram! Yes, I made an Instagram earlier this month. I'll be posting as frequently as I can, so feel free to check it out.